may have heard the term branding floating around the creator sphere and wondered, what exactly is branding and do I need it? If you're a content creator, you should absolutely have a brand. But what is a brand? A brand is a simple sentence that will let people know what to expect from your content. Your brand concept will also help you define your color palette, emotes, model, and projects, even the other VTubers you choose to interact with. It will likely also have an impact on what sponsorships and charity events you do. If you plan on taking content creation seriously, a brand is a must-have. For my viewers who do best with examples, let's use me as an example. My brand is an astrolibrarian VTuber tasked with gathering and sharing knowledge. There's a lot of information packed into that sentence, and you can get a general vibe of what you're going to get. If you look at Astral, you're getting the vibe of something maybe spacey, maybe fantasy-y, a little bit different. It's not straight and narrow, it's not just standard. You look at Librarian, you get the idea that this is probably going to be on the cozier side, and also maybe a little bit on the variety side, because librarians, books, there's tons of books on all sorts of topics, so this could really go anywhere. Tasked with gathering and sharing knowledge, this is someone who wants to share information with you, but also wants to learn, so you're probably going to learn a little bit if you're going to watch this VTuber. Generally, you get a pretty calm vibe. There are many things that can help you find your brand, and we're going to go over them. Think about who you are, what kind of content you already make, and what kind you'd like to make. Think about what your general vibe is. And don't worry, we'll get into all of those more in a second. Who you are is going to be a huge piece of your brand, especially as a content creator, because what makes you different from everybody else is who you are. And that's why people are going to watch you. So what makes you you? That'd be your interests, your hobbies, your values, your skills, even your past. What do you have to offer that no one else does? What combination of things can you put together that'll be super unique? These are all the reasons people are going to watch you over somebody else, because you are the only person on this planet who has had the experiences that you've had and can share the specific things that you can share. Type range is something actors use to identify what types of roles they can believably play, so they can spend more time on those auditions rather than on every single audition and spreading themselves super thin auditioning for things that they really can't get. It's going to help you because we want you to have a brand that is believably you. If you've ever seen a VTuber or any content creator and clicked away almost instantly because they just didn't feel like the right person for the content, or they didn't feel like they matched their model and there was some sort of dissonance in your head, this is the kind of thing we're trying to avoid by understanding our type range and really building our brand within that type range. As much as we would love it if we all had unlimited ranges, very, very few people do, so let's go ahead and look at how to find your range. The first thing we're going to look at is personality. While this is less of an issue for actors, if you're not a seasoned actor, your personality is going to be a big part of the equation. Are you bright and bubbly? Are you dark and gloomy? Are you goofy and unhinged? Are you straight-laced and efficient? Whatever your personality is, there is a content niche for you. But trying to make unhinged content when you're actually a straight-laced rule follower may be interesting for a little while. It's going to be very hard to maintain long-term, and your personality is going to start showing through. Now, the dissonance could lead to very interesting content, and there are definitely creators who do this. Certainly an option, but make sure you're going to feel comfortable with it long term. That's what we really want to do with our brand. We want to make sure that we're getting something that's going to work long term. Next, we're going to talk about your voice. Now, if your goal is to be a silly VTuber that makes people laugh, dissonance may be your best friend here. There are definitely some VTubers I can think of who use this to their advantage, where their voice is completely different from their model, and that's kind of their whole thing. But if it is not your goal, you want to make sure to match your voice to your brand and to your model and everything along those lines. So, do you have a higher soprano voice? A lighter, cuter character will likely fit you best. Do you have a deeper alto voice? Something on the more sultry or darker side might be a better match. I cannot tell you the number of small VTubers I've seen whose voices do not match their design, and it pretty much instantly makes me click away from them. But You will notice that the bigger VTubers do match their voices and designs. Even if they're not designs that they would have picked themselves, the companies and corporations they're in are very good at essentially casting these characters and fitting the voice to the look. Of course, there are a couple who have made it their entire thing to be very, very different. Their voice and their model do not match at all, and it's their whole identity. This is something that can be really rough, because so many people in the VTubing sphere use their model to get to look a way that they wish they did. And it's so amazing that they get to do that. But a lot of the time it ends up looking like a poorly cast English dub of an anime, which is likely to turn a lot of people off from your content. So this is one of those things where if VTubing is giving you a catharsis of being able to look the way you want to, ignore all of this, do what you want, make sure that it's making you happy. There's always a possibility that you will grow anyway, but if you're really wanting to focus on this being a career, something you can grow, you do want to make sure that your voice is matching your model, and you don't get that weird, almost uncanny valley thing that happens when a voice is very miscast for the character that they're playing. This is something that can be really rough, because many people use VTubing to get to look the way they wish they did, and it's amazing that it can do that for them. But a lot of the time it ends up looking like a poorly cast English dub of an anime, which is likely to turn a lot of people off of your content. So if you're struggling to grow, maybe check to see if your voice and model resonate, and ask an unbiased group of people. Now this means don't ask your community, don't ask your friends, don't ask your family. You want to ask somebody who does not care about you, because that's the people that you want to be bringing in. People who don't know you, people who don't care about you. You want to make this something that is friendly to the people who don't already know and love you. Anything that helps you define your audience is a good thing, and this is one of those things that does just that. That would be your energy level. While you will not be limited in content you can create by your energy level, it will define a bit of your audience. Because if you're doing things like videos on fun places to go, or food reviews, or book reviews, or anything along those lines, you are much more likely to get people who match your energy, while the people who have very, very different energy styles will scroll away, because these people are looking for things that are recommendations to them. So if you match their energy level, they're much more likely to look at it. If you're streaming, people are usually looking for something in a specific energy vibe. It'll be high energy or low energy, but if you know what your energy vibe is, you can tailor your content around that and see what kind of stuff is going to draw more people in. Now, one of the most important things is comfort. What are you comfortable with? I strongly encourage you to figure this out before you start creating content, especially if you're going to be a streamer, because chat will definitely push you, and you need to know where your hard no's are. Things to think about. Are you more lewd or say-so? Do you want to sing? Do you want to draw? Do you want a punishment wheel? Are you comfortable with a hug command? Are you okay with your audience flirting with you, and are you interested in flirting back? Are you comfortable with horror games? Do you want to let chat help you in games? Do you want to let chat play games with you? Do you want to DM with them outside of streams? Have a very interactive, interlaced individual interaction with your viewers? Do you mind other VTubers being mentioned on your chat? It is a general rule to never mention other VTubers in somebody's chat, but I know a few VTubers who don't mind it at all and love to call out other people and love to uplift other people. So you could absolutely be one of those people that just wants to help everybody and does not mind if VTubers are mentioned in your chat. Do you want people to avoid trauma dumping? It's really common for people to come into chat and want to tell you all the bad stuff. Some people really don't like that happening in their streams. Some people are fine with it and would like to help out. So which side do you fall on that? Now, many of these you'll learn as you go, and that is totally fine. You don't have to know all these when you start out. You can add more rules as you go. But this isn't just about rules. These comfort level things do serve two purposes. First is to create a safe place for yourself and your community. But the second one is to help you define your brand. If you love flirting, you want to do a GFE or BFE experience. If you love horror games, you can absolutely be a horror VTuber. You want to make sure you're not too comfy if you really love horror games. If you hate horror and you skew more towards wholesome, then you might want to be a comfy VTuber. Just knowing where your comfort lies will help you define what kind of things you do and don't want to do, and that will help you figure out your brand. Once you've gotten a general idea of who you are, you can move on to what kind of content you make. Whether you're already making content or haven't started yet, think about what content you make or what content you would like to make. Do you want to make variety content or niche content? Both have their pluses and minuses. Variety gives you much more freedom, but grows way more slowly. Whereas niche can grow extremely fast, but gives you very little or no freedom, and it can be very, very hard to switch out of if you choose to later on. Do you want to make live or recorded content? There is a very big difference in what it takes to make live content versus recorded content. Live content gives you audience interaction, requires less prep and fewer software skills. However, you need a consistent schedule. Whereas recorded content takes a lot of planning and editing skills or the budget to hire an editor, but you don't need as consistent of a schedule. If you are doing live streaming, you will eventually also need to pull in recorded content in order to grow, so you will probably end up doing a little bit of both, but you will always have one that is your main chosen medium. And finally, what kind of vibe do you give off? We're going to use all those YA books you read or still read to your advantage. Think about any YA book that sorts people into groups. What ones were you usually sorted into? Were you generally in the knowledgey ones, the daring ones, the selfless ones? Do you give off a chaotic vibe, a calm, trustworthy vibe? And what fictional characters did you feel seen when you read or saw? Which ones feel the most like you? Now, we just put it all together and see what things overlap. You should be able to come up with a couple of options of branding you could use. You can try them out and see which ones feel right or which ones grow faster. And remember, you can always change your brand, but try not to change it too often because a strong and consistent brand is what sponsors are looking for. And it is exactly what will help your audience find you, which is the goal of branding. That is all I've got for you for today. If you liked what you saw, make sure to like and subscribe for more fun videos, and I will see you in the next one.